Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap 'cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't care what you think 'cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His mind.
So thank you for joining us again on the Wigan Way. It's been a bit of a surreal couple of days. We're recording on Monday, just to let you guys know, after Saturday's big event. Was there a big result, lads?
Well, there was a lot of news that come out. I don't know if you've seen the reporting on Australian wine.
No.
They're saying don't buy any wine from Australia because there's a lot of sour grapes at the minute.
That's the case. They're not very happy.
There's a joke about beer in St Helens all being bitter or something.
Yeah.
Mixed up the order and it's all bitter.
Oh, well, that's because everyone loves to hate Wigan, I think, is a fair assessment, really.
Yeah, definitely.
They're all saying hated, adored, but never ignored.
That's literally the case. And
Yeah.
I think you pointed out on the Twitter, Matty, about the Saints fan that went and watched
Yeah, it was near me.
Wigan, watched Penrith try to beat Wigan rather than going watching his own side.
Head to toe in Saints clobber.
Yeah, you wouldn't think they had a game.
Well, they won actually.
What, it was at the DW?
Yeah, right. He's right near me.
Where else is?
Someone sent us a picture of him today, actually, on Twitter. He was right near me, St Helens, head to toe, literally. St Helens, in fact, higher than his head because his scarf was up higher than his head. Waving it.
Yeah.
Cheering every Penrith thing they did, shouting, taunting the people around him when Cleary scored.
As much as I think it is a waste of time, I'm not always on this podcast, am I? It's some top class poo house.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I respect the poo house we're coming out there.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but if you do that, your team has to.
There was a lot. I didn't know there was.
Yeah, it's a big call that go early like that.
There's so many Penrith shirts and Penrith fans that have got Warrington and Lee and St Helens accents. I didn't know that was a thing.
I know.
Penrith must be like Little Lancashire, I think.
That's literally it. But should we get onto it?
Well, yeah.
Go on.
In case you've been living under a rock, Wigan won a game on Saturday.
If you're listening to this podcast and you didn't know that, why?
What have you done? Wigan won 16 points to 12 in a game filled with excitement, really big moments throughout the game.
Yeah.
Probably going to be one of the most memorable games of our lifetime. I'll never forget the experience.
Yeah.
But let's start before the game. And
Before we should say that we recorded another podcast yesterday. Well, two of us did. The Sniper invited us. I don't really know. It's a bit of a mystery in the Sniper.
yeah,
His mates come on the camera, but he kept his camera off. Just called himself the Sniper the whole time.
The host kept his camera off
Yeah.
and referred to himself as the Sniper.
He's a Sniper.
Nice.
And we did a good podcast with him yesterday, talking about the differences in how the game's sort of been reported. So check that out on the Sniper Club.
yeah, we'll share the link for that.
Yeah.
Very soon. But how did you find the whole experience? How were you before the game, lads? Because I'm going to be honest. That was a great response. First of all, both
I'm thinking-
of you.
So I was waiting for that.
Okay,
I thought
well-
Matty was going to dive in first.
I
was good. It was a bit of a surreal one for me because I was in Manchester. The Friday night stopped over, so I didn't really have time to have any nerves. I kind of got home on the Saturday. I think I had a quick shower, got changed, and then went and met up with yourself, Tom, in Wigan Town Centre. But I'll tell you something, it was good to see the town buzzing. I mean, we was in a couple of the pubs in the town centre, and you know what, it was 3, 4, 5 deep at bar every time, but no one was getting frustrated, no one was kicking off, everyone was friendly. The bar staff were busy, but, you know, the people tell you, you're doing well here, you know, it'll calm down a bit, and they were saying, oh, God, I hope it does calm down, but they'll be thankful, obviously, to get the business and stuff. And it was nice to see the town buzzing.
So what time would you say this was?
What time would this have been when I got there at 5 o'clock?
To be fair, it was going on before that. I was in the town at 3 and it was buzzing then.
So I went the other way because obviously I was coming from Liverpool, so I went and met my mum and dad at Robin Park, and that was about 6 o'clock, 6:15, and it was already buzzing there as well.
Yeah.
all the restaurants, KFC, Burger King, Greggs, all them were just queuing out the door.
So if you listen to this and you work in Wigan Town Centre and you was one of those people,
well done
to you. That was
nice
good.
one.
You did the town a service, so well done.
I'd be asking for time and a half.
I'd bet you they should get time and a half
Yeah.
as well. They got enough business paying time and a half.
But I'll be honest. I was really confident. I said it last week that I could never back against Wigan. But about 5 o'clock, just before you got to me, Lewis, I remember sitting looking at what the predicted side was and going, well, he's a good one. And he's a good one. And he's a good one.
Well, you know, for me, they were flashing things up on the screen. I was in the ground quite early. They were flashing things up on the screen, and just adverts and sponsors' names and things. And they just flashed one up that was like, all it said was World Club Challenge, and I went, oh no! Like, it just sunk in that was the game we were at. I think it's because it's so early in the season, you don't expect enormous games to come, but it just sunk in then. When it was already pretty full, the ground, the 3 words had come on the screen, and I thought, oh dear, it's the World Club Challenge.
I think it's always that, because you know it's the World Club Challenge. You know the NRL's got a reputation as being the kind of the rugby league competition.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say.
Let's just be honest and give Penrith their credit. They are probably the best team in the world.
Yeah.
And they're arguably the best team, the NRL, in the salary cap era.
I don't think that's a question. The salary cap era, they're the best NRL team.
You may be talking Melbourne, competing with them, the Roosters.
Not won 3 in a row, though.
You were saying, though, you're going through the squad of individuals. Don't get me wrong, yeah, when you see Dylan Edwards, Nathan Cleary on a team sheet, you on the opposition's team sheet, you starts going. But I think as well, you know what they're like as a team? They're a machine. They're defensive. They're gritty. They don't make very many errors. And you know that you probably need them to have an off day for you to have a chance, really. They're just that well drilled.
Definitely.
Now, should we just go through the events in general? I'll go through the try scorers for both team. Obviously, for Wigan, was a Basmiski in the 9th minute, Cruz Lehman in the 33rd.
It's from Penrith, Basmiski.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Quite a few that had been involved with Penrith.
Yeah, there's a few. Adam Kieran was there but never played a game.
I know Cade Ellis said
Cade
he
Ellis
used to be
was
there,
there,
didn't he?
yeah. I think
He
Cade
said that
Ellis
week
played the
before
most
Sky.
for him. But yeah, Abbas is from Penrith.
But then they were both in the first half, and Nathan Cleary and Dylan Edwards both got tries for Penrith in the first half.
Yeah.
The only try scorer of the second half was Jake Wardle. I think it's probably fair to talk about the general feel of the game first of all before we go through each one of them tries.
We talk about making an error on literally the second tackle of the game,
Yeah.
and giving them a scrum 10 metres out from our own line and somehow not conceding.
Yeah, but do you not think that give our defence a little... I know this is good looking back at it.
Yeah,
but
hindsight's a wonderful thing. I thought we're 6-0 down here. We're not
that was my first thought. But then we survived, and I went, we couldn't have had a worse start, and we're still 0-0.
They botched the scrum play, didn't they?
Yeah. And that just lifted me. Actually, they're not going to walk down here and score every time. We can hold them out.
Yeah, I think there would have been I think...
That might be me being all...
Yeah, you'd ideally not want to drop the ball in the second tackle, don't get me wrong, but I think obviously the best thing to after making that mistake, obviously, is to defend it.
Yeah.
You get a boost of your defence if you can keep them out 10 metres out, like Matty said there. So, pros and cons definitely to that one, I think.
Yeah. But in general, it felt like the game was spent probably, I would say 80% in our 40.
Penrith had the territory.
They had the territory.
They rolled us. They got quick play of the balls and they rolled us so much.
And the defence though as well. We were sprinting, we were making carries, and I honestly thought we would kick it earlier in the tackle count than we did. We seemed to go to the last play a lot, but I think it was because we had to go to the last play, because you would have kicked on the 3rd or 4th, you were kicking from your own 20.
Yeah.
And they just went, we need to be in the 35-40 and then kick, if on the 4th to then kick there.
I think a couple of times our 4th and 5th tackle carries just punched a hole to get us maybe to the 40. That extra 10 yards.
Yeah.
But we were the ones hanging on to the tackle. We were the ones trying to slow it down. We were the ones with bodies caught on the floor in the ruck.
And we were always going to struggle for metres when you look at who we're actually missing.
That's a good point.
Luke Thompson,
Walters,
December, big bodies.
Yeah,
look at the guys that we lost last year. Kaipius Pole was a massive meter maker for us. Smithies, where maybe you would argue Liam Farrell and Willie Isa were more workhorses, defence, doing a particular job. We lost a lot of meter makers, so I think we were keen to do that.
Most of our carries were 3/4. It seemed like our outside backs made a lot of carries.
Yeah.
That is our game.
I remember saying to you as well, Tom, during, I don't know if it was first or second half, but at some point during the game, they just all, I don't know if this may be an NRL team or whatever, there's a difference in it, but they all just seem like athletes. And I mean, I don't know every rugby league player in Super League, I know it's an athlete, but I mean, they were all big.
Especially the
and
forwards.
Powerful and just punching holes, and I was like, you know what, we very rarely, we did get them on the back at sometimes, but I'm like, there's no surprise we're falling off tackles or, not getting them on the back, and we're just kind of grasping onto tackles because they're just busting through. But it was like, they looked impossible to tackle some of them. They were just that big and powerful and athletic. And
Well, let's just talk about that, because if you look at the Penrith side and the metres that they made some phenomenal metres coming out. Dylan Edwards made 249 metres. Brian
That's a false number, perhaps, because how much of that would have been every time we kicked, he got 25? Because they were always clearing kicks.
But this is what I mean, though.
So he got 25 every time we kicked.
Every time he made 15, 20 metres. Every time he took the ball back.
But there's a difference there to how many yards like Luke Garner made or James Fisher-Harris. Tough yards, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Or
and
even...
And you would look at post-contact metres, possibly,
even
for that.
somebody like Liam Marshall would have made a lot of carries.
Yeah.
Tough carries, compared to what Edwards and Toto and May did for them.
But I just think they got him off to so many good starts. And it felt like they landed on the front all the time. So the next tackle was coming at us.
We had no choice. Harry Smith had no choice but to kick it long down somebody's throat. It was his only option.
No, and I'm going to defend him here, and defended him at the game. There was people criticising him for kicking it down Toto or Dylan Edwards'
Had no
throat.
choice.
Yeah.
He had no choice. He just had to get it as far as he could. And effectively, they had three full-backs sat there.
Yeah.
Both wingers and Dylan Edwards. And I don't think people realise how difficult that is when both wingers are 10, 15 yards in from the touchline, and you might have a yard of space that you could land the ball.
I don't even think you do. I don't even think you have a yard.
No.
I think it's when you've got three men covering and you're kicking it 50 yards, they're going to get under it.
If you wait till the fifth tackle and the winger, and you don't get a quick play of the ball, so the winger and the fullback the fullback will be dropped back anyway, but the wingers have had time to drop back, so not have the quick play of the ball. You're not finding grass.
No.
It's impossible.
Yeah. It's impossible, you're right.
Unless they drop it.
So should we talk about the first try? Abbas Miski's. I think it's fair to say, obviously, we didn't have the territory as we've already agreed.
Against the run of play, 100%.
We could have only been in Penrith's 30 metres, maybe 4 or 5 times.
We get piggybacked with a penalty and a 6 again or something. Oh yeah, we kicked and they charged it down and we had a 6 again on their line. And Ellis took a drive in, and then it was down to Bevan French.
But every time we were down in Penrith's half, I feel like we were
scored.
probably clinical.
Yeah, they got points.
This was so.
And we had to be, because we weren't the...
enough.
Yeah.
I can't remember us wasting an opportunity. I think we literally had 3 chances.
I think there was one when Harry Smith kicked, maybe on the 3rd or 4th.
Oh, he did like a chip over the
Oh,
top,
yeah,
didn't he?
yeah.
That was the only chance I think we really got down there where we didn't get over the line, and that's probably the way to play Penrith. One of the Aussie media guys that I saw said we're going to have shown how to play Penrith. No risk in your own half, and then really risk it when you get down there and try and score off every play. And that ball from Bevan French to hit Miski in space,
Delicious.
It's so perfect.
It was.
Miski's in the perfect position that Taruva, the winger, can't get to him. But I think Kieran and his inside men do well enough just to hold the centre and hold the winger of Penrith. That it just gives.
He does it all the
Miski
time, that
half
face ball, French, doesn't he? That miss-out, cut-out ball.
He just
and
found.
it's brilliant.
I think towards the back end of last year, he found out when to throw it.
When to throw it or when to hit
to
Toby
keep
King.
it,
Or
when to
when
keep
to
it short,
Yeah,
yeah.
when to hit. He used to hit Pierce Paul, didn't he? A lot on those little ones.
or go himself.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, because again, he's been winger, full-back, and he's kind of making the 6 years on, and he's finding his way with experiences.
Yeah. So that was in the 9th minute, and then we ended up going another 16, 17 minutes before Penrith scored.
Just trading sets. Well, the one thing I did want to mention in that time was keeping out Toto.
Yes.
When they put it through the hands, stripped us, got Toto in some space out wide, and usually he's automatic at finishing them, and we scrambled across and held him up.
Yeah.
And I thought for certain that was a try.
Yeah.
I thought, right, he's in, he scored. It's a guaranteed try, right? There's 6 apiece, or it's 4 apiece, whatever.
And that's what you got to do, like you say, find a way to get there. Just find that desire, find a way to get there and just scramble, make a tackle, cover your mate.
We mentioned on the podcast that we were on yesterday, Matty, that it didn't really matter how you make a tackle. It was just throwing your body there.
Yeah.
I think Kieran made a tackle at one point with his back.
Yeah, just hit him with anything and
Back
just stop.
It works, yeah. You know what I mean?
But it's that's the desire that Matty Pete's put into the lads to just stop it at any cost. Do absolutely anything to just keep them out for one more tackle.
Work for your teammates. I do think they played into our hands slightly by always going for the power play.
Yeah, it seemed. I said that, didn't I? Like it was obviously very noticeable that they weren't playing for kicks on, and I thought, I don't know, because part of me thought, is actually this mistakes? Is this a bit of rust because they've not had a? And then I thought, actually no, because Penrith actually said, well, that drilled of a team, they'll get to and put in the end of
They're
plays
usually
like
pretty good at that. Yeah.
Cleveland's one of the best kickers of the ball, but it must have been in the game plan, power plays and running.
The only thing I can think is obviously they lost Stephen Crichton, who is a real
Kick
big
threat.
body. He's a real kick threat. I think he's 6'2", 6'3", really athletic. And when you look at the wingers and the centres that they were playing, not one of them is really of like a Daniel Tupu size that is going to leap and catch. But especially when the first try came from Miskey and Adam Kieran's little mix-up of who went for the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hit Miskey in the face.
Yeah, Miskey sort of gets blocked off and changes his mind, and Kieran was going for it. I think it was the next set, they put another kick to Miskey. He caught it, and then they never went back for it. I don't think they ever went back there for another kick.
They kicked one at Marshall, and we sort of blocked off.
Anyone real running at it.
And that was it, really.
It was strange. And like I said, you look at Cleary's stats for kicking. I don't think he made 100 metres in kicks.
But that's his bread and butter usually. He's scoring tries. I was waiting for the banana kick, the grubber.
Just something.
Never put it in.
Just something different.
They always ran it. And I was more worried about Cleary's boot than I was about his legs or his passing.
Yeah.
Now, 6 minutes later, we can get another chance down at Penrith line, and we walk away with another try from Cruz Lehman, who, let's not forget in this game, actually comes off.
He's the first player I've ever seen hobble onto the pitch.
Yeah, he hobbled on.
For his first bit of the match. He hobbled on.
And we actually subbed him 8 seconds before half-time.
Because he couldn't walk.
He just could not walk. And, you know what, we might not see him for 6 to 8 weeks. And that gives Tom Forber a chance. And we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
But that just shows you what you put your body through to get on that field and help your teammates. And then 15 minutes.
I can't believe he's done it twice now. He's played 2 games for Wigan and with the same injury has scored a try and then come off.
I think that...
He did 3 celebrations, he only did 1 this time.
I know he only played like 15 minutes or whatever it was. It might not have even been 15. But it just gave Brad O'Neill 10 minutes just a rest, because he then put in a brilliant last 40 minutes.
O'Neill's fantastic in this game.
Yeah, especially in that second half.
But the try itself, another face ball from Bevan French.
Yeah.
Missed out Willie Isa. He hits Kieran, who then offloads to Miskey. A lot of talk about it being forward. I really don't think it was.
I don't think it was forward. No.
I don't think.
I kept seeing comments about
line ball
playing NFL.
at worst.
And
Penrith players didn't appeal for a
No,
foul
they
pass,
didn't.
So that normally tells you.
Look at who complains, Tom. You'll see why they complain.
Oh no, it's because they're maybe from the other side of Bill and Chill.
Either the other side of Bill and Chill or the other side of the world.
But Miskey does well looking back inside to find Willie Isa, who I don't know why didn't just go and score himself.
Did the smart thing.
Gives it back inside to Lehman.
He did the smart thing. He gave it to someone that he knew could score. He was probably 50-50 about where the defender was behind him.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it was Willie Isa streaming through the middle, I'll be honest with you. Fair play to him. I didn't see. I thought French or Field or Leeming, and it's good to see Leeming tear through the middle again, but I thought it would have been one of them players. To see Willie fly through the gap and back up and then do the right thing, make the right decision, pass it to Leeming.
Yeah.
But Smith makes that conversion, and that takes the game to 10-6.
Yeah, light it up post.
Turn the post green.
Turn the post screen. It's good. That
Honestly, I love that. If that's not at every game, I'm going to be disappointed.
if that's not worth half an IMG point, I don't know what should be.
It's definitely. I would go for a full point.
0.75 IMG points for lighting up posts.
Could have kept Wakefield up. Lighting post.
Don't wire him to the lamppost.
Yeah.
But Matty, I'm going to quote one of your tweets that you put out at half time. Just before Dylan Edwards scores, what a bad 6 again to give away.
Oh, right in front of us.
Right there.
I'm not sure it was really a 6 again, but
I thought it was. I'll be honest. I thought it was 6 again at the time, and it just gave Penrith another 3 tackles on our own line. We were defending the best that we could, and I think this comes from the fact that we've just been in a big arm wrestle for 40 minutes.
well, we were really tired. This
Ellis
Edwards
was blowing.
try looked like we were really tired. Ellis was injured as well, but Cooper had already gone off injured. Leeming had already just gone off injured, I think.
No, he was still on. He was.
Was he still on at
yeah.
this point?
Yeah,
But he was going to go off injured. Ellis couldn't really put much weight on one of his
It
legs,
was his left foot. Yeah.
and he overchases and then can't change direction because of that. And if you watch the try, it looks like it's a pretty poor effort, but actually, he can't push off that leg, and so he can't stop it. Farrell gets left on the floor trying to tackle Yo, and he gets the offload away. But you know what? Cleary Edwards scored off the back of a kick mistake and off the back of a desperate offload.
Now
That's the only time the greatest team ever since 1990 whatever broke us down.
Yeah.
A kick error and a desperate offload.
And a kick error, to be fair.
It was a good
I don't
kick.
know. But it's a good kick, and you don't want to make excuses, do you? But again, Miski and Keenan, it is a new partnership this season, so
Yeah.
it will take them time to communicate, work out who's blocking, who's under the high balls. It is a new partnership, isn't it? So that might take a bit of time.
So that just
But
meant
I thought we did
went
well
in.
to go into. I remember we went underneath at half time, and I said, actually, you know what? Only being with him, like again, go back to that territory argument. Spent about 30-35 minutes in our own half. I think Penrith were more frustrated that
I
we're
agree.
still in the game rather than us being frustrated that we were behind. I think they'll be thinking, have we not seen them off already?
I completely agree with you. I think Penrith would have been frustrated. I know you get a try just before half time and it changes your outlook, and it would have changed it. But I do think Wigan would have been slightly happier with the way they defended.
we got asked a question, me and Lewis, because with one of the lads that we were with at half time when we went down into the concourse. Would you have took 12-10 at half time? And my first thought was yeah, and then my second thought was, if you were to look at the stats of that game, Penrith probably should have been winning 18-0. Really, we had 2 sets on their line.
We weren't even on their line for the second try.
Well, we weren't even on the line, but into the remote danger area, and we walk away with 10 points. Penrith would have been gutted with that, and the amount of field possession, they should have got at least 3 tries. So you'd be looking at 18-0. I think we were far the happier team, considering
100%.
Considering Cooper had gone off, Leeming had gone off, and we were in it with 2 points.
Ellis is hobbling.
Ellis is hobbling.
Thompson's gone before the game.
Just things like that I think going into half time I was really, really happy.
I was a bit concerned about being down to 15.
Yeah, and obviously Mike Cooper then came back.
He does come back on, but at that time I didn't know that. But I was a bit concerned about being down to 15
Yeah.
and going against them. And I didn't think their bench was the strongest. But
They get massive minutes out of James Fisher-Harris
I know.
and
Leota.
Moses Leota. They play, what is it? I can actually have a look about how long they played.
I think they
But
were
it was,
3
it
spells.
was immense. It really was immense. Now, while it's half time, I just want to talk about them props that we've just mentioned though. And Tyler Dupree, he only played 49 minutes.
Only.
But made nearly 40 tackles.
For a frontline prop, that's a good minutes, that.
Yeah, made nearly 40 tackles, nearly 80 metres carrying, was immense.
Think about who we had on the pitch for most of the game. Mago, not going to lead your pack, is he? Harvey Hill, very young. Cooper hardly got on. Dupree's the guy.
Dupree's the guy. And Cade Ellis, over 30 tackles. Liam Farrell and Willie Ice are doing what they always do, over 30 tackles. Liam Byrne, who was unfortunately his second spell was cut short by 10 minutes due to his
head test.
But Harvey Hill was immense. For 20 years old, to come on and provide the impact that he did and give us a little bit of...
He was brilliant.
He gives a bit of
We're
out.
picking everyone up as well.
He was brilliant.
What happened? Did they make a mistake or... We didn't throw him in touch, did we? I think there might have been something happened basically, but he kind of was over and he was patting everybody on the chest and picking them up with his hand action, like trying to get the team fired up. And I thought actually for a 20-year-old lad to come on and do that, try and pick his team, which was a bit of a leader in there.
He launched himself into tackles legally. He drove well. For someone who it's been said was a bit unhappy because we signed so many props and was a bit questioning his position, to come in and do this, I bet Luke Thompson was gutted when he found out he'd failed his HIA, but I bet Harvey Hill was rubbing his hands together thinking, this is my chance, this.
Yeah, and he's took it, and he's going to have to play next week. I would expect at least two of... I don't know if Liam Byrne failed his HIA, but Cooper probably won't play next week. Harvey Hill... will
probably be doubtful.
I'm going to say Thompson comes in for Ellis.
Yeah,
Thompson will be back in, won't he?
And Mago probably should be fine. But we're going to need three bodies out, and Harvey Hill's going to have to lead that pack. He's going to have to step up, and this will be another learning curve for him now.
We'll talk about the Huddersfield game later, but it'll be a good chance to see what Thompson's made of. Because he'll have to be a pack leader as well in this game.
Yeah. Now, shall we jump over to the second half? Okay. A few moments that have caused a bit of a stir up was the 53rd minute Jake Wardle try.
Yeah.
Now,
we caused a good overload again.
Yeah.
Nice kicking behind. Not exactly how they drew that try up, but
a great take because he almost pinches it from Toro's hands.
Yeah, brilliant fight to the line as well.
And then wrestles all the way.
He wriggled over, somebody said,
and gets to the line. And the first thing I'm going to say is he definitely gets to the line.
Let's say this: Jake Wardle got over the line and definitely put the ball on the ground.
It definitely happened.
That definitely happened. Now, whether it was a double movement or a triple movement or quadruple movement, that remains to be seen. It probably wasn't a try, but he definitely did. I don't get the whole he was definitely short thing.
Because he wasn't.
He wasn't.
He definitely gets that.
That freeze frame everyone's doing where he's claiming the try, they've pushed him back over by that point and Moore's already sent it up to the screen.
Yeah, and this was the thing that I really wanted to make clear.
Or as the bloke behind me called him, Moore.
Liam Moore, there's a couple of pictures that people are sending round and saying, oh, look at him, he's definitely short. It's when he's celebrating, he's giving it the finger wag. He's already give up the wrestle because he knows he's grounded it. Liam Moore's already moved round, seen the ball on the line, and gone to the video ref. Now, the conversation about the double movement, Liam Moore's already in the in goal, so we can only see Toto and Dylan Edwards, the back of them. So I don't think he can see what's going on. When he stepped round, he's seen the ball on the line, and that's why he's give try as the what's the word? As the on-field decision.
Yeah.
He's asked the video ref to confirm that. Now, with this, and everyone seems to have missed it or not speaking about it, you've got to remember Dylan Edwards is actually pulling. He's in the wrestle and whatever, but when he tries to get the other side, he pulls Jake Wardle. So there's an argument: does he pull him over the line? And I'm not saying whether I think he does or not. I'm just saying it's there, and it puts doubt into the video ref. I don't think this is a shocking call as whatever.
It's a bread and butter no try, as everyone's saying.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it is either. But I think it probably is a no try. But the fact that I've just said probably means there is an element of doubt.
But
when you go up to the video referee as an on-field decision of try, they have to be 100% conclusive that it's not to overturn the on-field decision.
If you want to have a conversation about changing the rules so the ref doesn't send anything up at all, and the video ref just objectively decides, that's fine. But that's not the rules we were playing with. That's not the rules the teams agreed to.
No, and that's the big thing. These were the rules that were agreed to play by. I 1,000% understand why Liam Moore gave try on the field.
I feel so sorry for Liam Moore. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that he's getting blamed for this. Not even his fault.
And I think, to be fair, I'm gonna go to Ivan Cleary what he said. they had more than enough chances to score.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Ivan Cleary was a class act, by the way, in his
He
comments
was,
after the
he
game.
was,
Not
yes.
once mentioned the ref.
And so was his son, to be fair.
Yeah, and probably the whole team. Bartor in his comments.
Well, yeah.
But when you look at each part of that event, I understand why it's happened that way. I understand why more give try. I understand why the video ref has stuck with the on-field decision. Whether that makes it right or not, it's nowhere near as bad as what people have made out.
I'm sure you're going to get onto other decisions that's been debated as we move through, but I think the kind of thing to notice here, which I keep saying to people, or what I'm saying, I've just come off the foot before going brother was talking about the game, is, and I think Ivan Cleary summed it up well. The ref cost them the game, and it's like, no, Penrith had the chances to win it.
Yeah.
Jay Field makes an unbelievable tackle at full back tap, I'm sure we'll get onto in a minute, to kind of shove someone in touch and deny a try. There's one where they offload it to the winger who, if he catches it and puts it down, it's an easy try, but it ends up going in touch because it goes too far behind him. That was a try scoring. So there's 2 try scoring moments. There's a break in the second half, pass on the inside, Cleary knocks it on into Field. Field nearly intercepts it, but it doesn't end up on the floor. It's a knock on. There's 3 chances they've had to score there, and I thought Ivan Cleary, you are right. Penrith have been criticised for not being the most humble or classy bit in the past. But in this occasion, he come out, he said, Wigan didn't get many chances, but they were clinical. We weren't clinical enough. It was a very high-quality game that I thought could have gone either way. And if we play it again tomorrow, results might be different. And I thought, you know what?
That's right.
Class.
I thought
Absolute
he was class. I thought Nathan Cleary was class. I thought Isaiah Yeo shook hands with practically every Wigan employee on the field at the end, including quite a number of the women's team that were there with Dennis Betts, congratulating them all. What was the lad called with the long hair who was on the bench? Liam somebody.
Oh,
It was he come off the bench.
his name will come to
He's
me
a
in
new
a
lad.
second.
Was it Henry? Liam Henry? Anyway,
I'm just getting the team up
while
now.
you get the team up, he was on the bench.
Liam Henry. Yeah.
Liam Henry, he must have taken him 30 or 40 minutes to get round the stadium at the end to even talk to the fans that he wanted to talk to. He was signing shirts, autographs. Brian Toto gave away his headgear and his shirt, and the Penrith players at least looked like this time they'd bought into this competition.
Yeah.
And looking at Cleary's face as he walked out to the packed crowd, shouting and screaming, looking at Tyrone Peach's face when we scored the Miskey try and he turned round and watched everybody celebrate, and his face then when Cleary scored and he did the same thing. They must love coming to places like this and experiencing crowds like this, because they do. I've been to the NRL, they do not get it.
Yeah.
It's more sanitised. It's more like the Premier League is in this country, where most grounds you go to in the Premier League now, there's no atmosphere. It's just all
Not
a bit
for long periods of
not for
time,
long
yeah.
periods. Whereas that on Saturday, unbelievable.
Now, can we get back to probably a moment of the game that I would say was definitely my favourite? Jai's tackle.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Can I ask, did any of you watching it, when he give him the outside, as it happened, I just went, this is Liam Tyndall all over again.
As soon as he put his foot down,
Yeah.
he's in touch.
Yeah.
Nothing he can do. His best chance would have been try and go back towards the post, try and make it a bit messy, stop, pass it, see if something happens like that.
Or maybe just try and run at field and hope you can knock him off.
You're not getting outside him.
And as soon as he went and Field got almost, I don't want to say behind him because he wasn't, but to the side of it where he couldn't pass back inside, I was just certain he was going to tackle him. It was the Liam Tyndall incident all over again, from Leeds at the start of last season. Might have been round 2 as well then.
Yeah. No, it was 2 years ago, though.
Yeah, it was, sorry. Oh my God.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
because Bateman sent him in off an offload.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it
Long
was.
time ago,
That would have been like Pete's first or second game in charge, wouldn't it? That's
that
his
is
first home game.
unbelievable. And we talk about scoring tries and we talk about moments in games.
Saving a try is as good, if not better, because of the momentum swing
Yeah.
that you get.
They would have been gutted. When Edwards offloads and he's one-on-one with a full-back.
It's a great line by Edwards and a great offload.
But then, let's move on. I'm trying to remember which way around it happened.
Bevan French.
It was Bevan French next. I have never experienced a moment like that.
I just grabbed a guy from the row behind that I didn't know. In fact, I grabbed 3 people from the row behind I didn't know.
So, in the moment of scoring, Lewis, I think I kissed you. Yeah. I've managed to smash my leg on the chair in front of me. I lost my glasses, Someone got punched next to me.
I think we all fell down at one point.
Yeah, I think we were on the floor at one
about,
point.
yeah.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? What you go through in that moment.
And
Is it as bad as what your dad did to Jimmy on Good Friday when Liam Farrell scored? You know that story, Lewis?
The 2011 last minute Liam
So you
Farrell
know
try.
Jimmy,
2011, 2010.
Jimmy, who we had on this podcast, who told us he'd been a fan for however many years.
Yeah, we know.
Tom put the music over when he was saying how long he'd been a fan. Well, Jimmy was sitting next to Dukesy on that day, and when Farrell scored, Jimmy ended up with a black eye. Let's just say.
Okay.
No, but he did punch someone by mistake.
Yeah.
But
Was it not Jimmy?
No, not Jimmy this time. But it was pandemonium, and it was like that was when I thought
We've done it.
One, we've won it. They cannot win.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
And then the moment he goes to the video ref, I thought he's miles onside.
I did.
And I looked up at the screen, and on the first replay, I went, "He's not going to win this."
I couldn't tell because he was so far away.
I have never gone from such an ecstatic high to such a dramatic low in the space of a second.
It was crushing because you knew.
As soon as I looked at that screen, I saw his foot was in front of him, and I went, "He's offside," and I just put my head in my hands, and I just wanted crying in terms of disappointment rather than joy.
But it wasn't no try handover on the 10. It was no try penalty Penrith on halfway.
Yeah.
It's a 12-point swing almost if they score.
Yeah.
I thought no.
Again,
And if we score that try on Friday, it's given. The Super League rules, that was a try.
Yeah. Well, look,
Because you only need 1 foot behind the ball in Super League.
right.
again,
International rules you need
can we all agree, or does anyone have an issue if we agree on the fact that internationally, in Super League and in the NRL, we need to follow the same rules? I am sick of someone saying we're playing to international rules today. Can we have clarification on this?
Well, now we've got a video ref at every game. There's no reason we can't.
I expect the bunker and all that to come in the next couple of years.
There was, I'm guessing the next decision you're going to get to in a minute was the steal. I'm guessing that I'm kind of stealing your limelight here, kind of moving us on earlier than you would have wanted us to. But that ball steal from Liam Martin, he's told two people drop off and he's ripped it. Liam Moore blows a penalty. And all right, I get he has made a mistake. It should have been played under international rules. But to me, the bigger problem there is the structure, not Liam Moore's mistake. Why have we got 3 different Super League, NRL and international rules for the same game? Like, that Liam Moore was bound to happen because it's bound to... If you've got 3 different rules and the ref's going to try and go, oh, which one are we playing today, then he's bound to make a mistake and confuse the rules.
Because don't forget...
That is a structural issue, not Liam Moore's.
Don't forget...
Yes, he has made the mistake.
Just as much as... let's just take a completely random example from the game. When Miskey drops the ball in the first half and Mitch Kenny catches it and puts Cleary over, Mitch Kenny has like less than half a second to react. So does Liam Moore in this case.
Yeah.
He doesn't make a decision as quick as Mitch Kenny does. If Mitch Kenny drops that ball, unlucky. But Liam Moore makes that mistake in the same time frame.
And he's...
Under different pressures, like you said, though, with different rules.
And this is where I feel sorry for the ref. No matter which way you make a decision...
It's a lose-lose.
No matter which way you make a decision, and I would love to ask this to them, how it feels, because you're always wrong. You're either...
Yeah.
You either get the right decision and no one says anything.
You hate every
or
team.
you're slightly wrong and you're hated by everyone of the opposition.
No, as a ref,
And it doesn't matter how many...
every team thinks you hate them.
And it doesn't matter how many you give for that side.
Yeah.
The one you don't is the one that you've cheated them out of or whatever.
But I hear there's 100,000 decisions made in a year. And how many wrong ones? A dozen.
But this is it. They talk about the one-on-one ball steal, but Wigan could talk about the high tackle from Tyrone Peachy that wasn't given.
That would have stretched it to 6-point lead.
They would have stretched it to 6-point lead, or we could have kicked and tried to defend that area. I can't remember how far out we were, but we could have kicked to the touch and just tried to pin him on their own line.
Could have put Kieran on it after that one at Cass.
Yeah. So...
But it was a 3-wood, what Kieran kicked at Cass. Was launched it over at Stadium.
These decisions that don't go your way, they balance you out. And that's the big thing. They just balance. Over 80 minutes, you probably get 2 lucky ones for you, and you probably get 2 against you.
Well, I'm not convinced. I know Lewis moved us on from the Bevan French try, but I'm not convinced that was actually a no try. The angle, he only has one angle to look at.
Yeah, and to be fair, you should be going off the position of Harry Smith's boot when he kicks it.
When do you pause it?
When
do you pause it? When it leaves his foot or when it makes contact with his foot? When do you pause it? What angle do you use? Because if you're using one from high up on halfway line, that's not accurate. You can't judge forward passes because the angle ruins the perspective. and so you can't tell if
Offside's
it's
a
fault.
similar problem,
But
yeah.
offside surely is a similar problem, unless we have the lines that they use in the Premier League, which is they still get wrong because it's still someone saying that's his shoulder, put the line there.
Do you go off the tip of his toe?
Well, exactly. An armpit hair can have you offside.
Or can I just get really big boots and
Yeah,
like then I'm kicking from more onside?
it's ridiculous.
Put Mighty Max's boots on.
Mighty Max's
Then you're
boots.
never
We would have given it a try. I just don't know why you can, unless we're doing those automated Hawkeye offsides,
Yeah.
which we clearly don't do because we don't have 40 cameras.
Yeah.
There's no way of judging it. If you can't
No.
judge a forward pass, you can't judge an offside.
I thought on the angle we got, it did look offside.
I agree.
But yeah, I know what you mean,
But
though.
I'm not
Yeah,
certain
it's-
it was as
yeah.
obvious as everyone made out.
Yeah.
Right. Should we talk about the last minute try saver?
Just desperation. Absolute give us 6 again. Who cares? There's 40 seconds left. We give them a 6 again.
Well, it was the
Give them a
third
penalty.
It was the third tackle when they give that 6 again, and I remember shouting to someone that it doesn't matter.
This is it.
It doesn't matter because they're not going to get enough
No,
tackles.
no.
And then from the 6 again, they got tackled on the third, and I went, "Oh my, that's 6 tackles. We would have had the ball back.
Well, they would have had to put a
They would
kick
have had to put a play on then." But I went, "We would have had the ball back."
and it was like 10 seconds.
And there's like 6 seconds left on the screen, and I just went, "It's going to happen." and let's be honest, that was probably the first time Penrith really attacked with great
Yeah.
passing. The way they moved from one side to the other.
And once the centre brushes off Kieran, I
Yeah.
thought, this is it. He's going to offload it. They're going to score. We've seen this so many times with last-second winners. Draw the winger in, offload it. But the scramble defence, once again,
Yeah.
incredible.
Miski and especially Field
Yeah.
to get under the ball, and this is similar to the Wardle try, but for the opposite reason. None of the Penrith lads get up and give it the big one that they've scored.
Yeah.
Fields underneath him and straight away says, "There's no way I'll censor his words."
Well, again, we can't swear on this podcast, but yeah, he said no way.
There's no way. There's no way.
There's
I'm under
absolutely
it.
no way.
There's
That is always
absolute-
down the floor.
Referee, Mr.
I
Moore.
can assure you, Mr. Moore, that ball's not
This
touched
ball
the
has
ground.
not touched terra firma. Steve would have said terra firma, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
And but the ref actually leans on his
Steve would have swore.
yeah.
At that moment, I genuinely think he would have done.
But he actually leans on his linesman as well, who also says that he doesn't think he's got it down and it's no try. So the referee and the touch judge haven't said it's on the floor.
Best view in the house.
With the best view in the house. Field is adamant he's under the ball.
They weren't confident.
They weren't confident,
It's not a try, this one.
so they
I have
give
not
no.
seen an angle that shows. I mean, for me, they got it right. It's gone up as a no try. Video ref has looked and gone, I can't find an angle that the
And he
ball
took
is
his
clearly
time.
on the floor. So therefore, I've got to go with the on-field call, which is the rules. Like it's a no try. I'm not 100%.
He looked at it so many times.
Right process has been followed.
Obviously, we can't hear them. And we
Unless
I thought
anybody,
it was-
I've had a look at it, I've seen, and I've rewatched the game, and I can't see the ball. I can't see that it's a try. People are going, it was a try. I'm like, well, I don't know what.
I
angle
think
you've
these
looked at or what
these
picture
people are wrong.
you've got.
These people are wrong who'd saying it's a
Yeah.
try. It's not definitely a try at all.
This is the thing with the Wardle one. You can see it on the ground.
Yeah.
This one, you can't see the ball on
No.
the ground. And was it Taylor May
That's-
that was held up?
I'm presuming.
so, yeah,
I'm presuming Dylan Edwards got the ball down, but I've still not seen that.
Yeah,
that was a was a ref's call one as well. We're not talked about that, but I'm not convinced Edwards got it down.
Yeah,
I've not seen it down.
but
Can't prove otherwise.
everyone who's blaming the refs, they should be blaming the rules that were played to it.
Or
And said, even though I don't think they've got it wrong,
blame the Penrith players for not being clinical enough.
and blame them for not tackling Wardle short of the line, or dealing with them 2 tackles, the same way that we would argue for Wigan. No matter what. Yeah, you can be critical of the ref and whatever, but you still could have done more yourself.
When we recorded after the
Challenge
Joe
Cup semi-finals.
Sharrock's red card, we put it more on silly decisions we made.
Yeah, we didn't control that game well enough. But that moment that it came up no try,
Yeah.
again, I think I might have cried.
I definitely cried.
I don't fully remember it.
I definitely cried when it flashed up no try because I was convinced at that point it was going to be try.
Yeah.
The amount of times he'd looked at it and we hadn't heard it, I thought Cleary's got a kick to kill us.
I've got to say, Lewis, I've got to thank you for this, because when it was on the video ref, I was hugging you from behind with my head buried in your jacket, and I just couldn't look at the screen. I couldn't look at it.
You wouldn't have been able to tell anyway. It was.
Oh no, I definitely couldn't see because I took my glasses off as well.
They had it on 9 camera vision.
But do you know what? I didn't cheer. I know it sounds awful. No try went up, and everyone went, and I just went.
So did I.
I just breathed a sigh of relief,
the release,
and then I went up. Yeah, I didn't go. I just, and then it just was a release, and I went, thank God for that.
It's brilliant.
That was probably one of the best feelings in my life. I felt like I just sank.
You have to remember, for us, like, the World Club Challenge is an enormous deal.
Yeah,
isn't it? It's what we get talked about. Challenge Cup, World Club Challenge. What we get told about when we were kids. This competition that we've got to test ourselves against the best. And before Cronulla, I thought we'll not win this in my lifetime. The Australians are too far ahead. We showed we could against Cronulla. This one again, I thought
there's no chance.
It's Penrith, and they're the best team we've ever seen.
And do you not feel like growing up, especially for us, we're all in our mid-20s, right? That growing up, my dad, your dad's, would talk about the Wigan side that went to Brisbane and won, or beat Penrith at Anfield. Oh, how good we played that day! It was a great try here. But
Sean Wayne when they played against Manly, man of the match.
Cronulla didn't have that same feel to it. This felt like one of them games that I will talk about for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
the players on this pitch will go down for us, like our dad's talking about the players that were on that pitch, like Sean Wayne as man of the match, Dennis Betts, Fran Obotica, the people that were carrying those trophies before the game that they brought out. Martin Afire was there, wasn't he? Dennis Betts.
Every one of them were going down in folklore.
Yeah,
as a Wigan great.
Joel Tompkins. Yeah, well, I mean, scored probably the best try in New Wembley.
Yeah.
We had a conversation, me and one of our mates, and I said every single one of them will go down as a memorable player for this club. There'll be lots of players that are lost to history, and you'll go, oh yeah, I forgot about him, he was a decent player. But you win a World Club Challenge, and your name's written there forever.
Yeah.
Harvey Hill, no one will ever forget Harvey Hill playing 20 minutes in a World Cup Challenge and the impact that he brought, and Cruz Lehman playing through the pain barrier. You'll remember that he played 15 minutes and couldn't walk. The stint that Dupree put in.
Cade Ellis.
Mike Cooper coming back from a snapped ACL. Was it an ACL and PCL or whatever it was? Yeah. And wasn't expected to play till April, but played at Castleford, then played on one leg during this. Cade Ellis, Liam Byrne, Brad O'Neill was immense. I can't Liam Farrell and Willie Isa.
Abbas Miski, guy we claimed off the relative scrap heap out of the Championship.
Well, last year in round 7 was playing on loan at London.
Yeah.
And will probably go down in Wigan history. Every single one of them. Well, most of them will turn into legends of this club.
Some of them already are. Farrell, Isa, French. They're already Warriors legends, aren't they, really?
But they will go to another level. And there's
That's how you was getting there. Liam Marshall.
Yeah. Liam Marshall.
That's how you was getting there, Liam Marshall.
Yeah.
When you talk about Farrell, Isa, French, you're going to talk about Liam Marshall for the contribution he's made to this club.
Yeah.
The 2 weeks he's had with no pre-season games.
Yep.
Losing his mother, his own first child being born. What a 2 weeks he's had.
Does anyone deserve it more?
I don't think there is anyone who deserves it more than him. I'm so chuffed for him.
I think he just gets his head down, does his work. Not big in media, probably doesn't win that many man of the matches to talk to media because you've got your French and your Fields and Harry Smiths and that, and he kind of just goes under the radar a little bit sometimes. But
he's been a great season.
Yeah,
consistently just gets 20s. I know he's not had a season where he's gone and got the top try score or whatever, but Mr. Consistent.
He's brilliant, yeah.
Brilliant.
And definitely improved under the high ball. Like, that was my concern, his defensive side and his meter making and everything that you had a concern about him when he first started has improved massively.
Yeah, 100%.
But right, I think we've finished talking about that game.
We've gone long, but
it's longer than last week's episode.
Yeah, but we have won a trophy this week, not beat Cass.
Hey,
lot to talk about as well.
Lewis, your brand new shirt's out of date now. It's only got 4 stars.
I know it was. That got read to me. I've the shirt got 4. Needs another star.
Yeah, we're joined.
Need to get the crayons on.
We joined the Roosters.
Yeah, fine.
Isn't that mad that this sport of ours, worldwide sport, really, and the 2 most common. World champions are Sydney and Wigan.
That's brilliant, isn't it? I think that's the perfect note to end this section on.
Yeah.
Right, we'll be back after this quick break to talk about the 5 other games in Super League that actually happened.
That mattered to somebody.
Thank you. So other than the big win and big game on Saturday, there was 5 other Super League fixtures all televised, and we got to watch most of them.
Brilliant, this. All the televised games.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people it's brought into Rugby League. Sorry, I know you probably discussed this last week and I wasn't here, but I know a couple of people it's brought into Rugby League. I know a couple of people who kind of was into Rugby League a couple of years ago and kind of their interest died off, and now because every game's on Sky, they're trying to get back into it. So I think it has been brilliant for the game.
I think the thing for me is more than anything is people that I didn't know cared about rugby or have never shown any interest in it to me just said, well, I like watching sport. If you get it on, people will watch it. Like people that I know would never have watched on Friday Warrington Hull, but there was not much else on. So why not put it on?
Well, Wilkin made a very good point at the start when they were discussing this. I know obviously when you work for Sky Sports and Sky Sports start televise all the games, you're probably going to say, but he made a very good point, I thought, where he said what it allows people to do now is follow a team. So let's say you live in the Manchester area, so you think, you know what, I'll go on, I'll have a look at Salford. You might watch them 1 week, they might be on telly again for the 5 weeks.
Yeah, true.
Who says no, you can follow your team and build that narrative of how they do week on week and see, they're getting you can literally tune in every week and see them. And I thought actually it's a very good point, that, isn't it?
If Sky are advertising Salford are playing, I'm trying to think who they've got coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's us soon, but I've just looked at who they're playing next week. Salford playing Hull KR, high flying Hull KR on a Thursday, I think it is. Sorry, no, a Saturday at 5:30 kickoff. You might just be tempted to go and pick up a ticket if you can get one for 15 quid. And then you go to one and you enjoy it. You might go to the next one, or you might say, when Wigan come to town, I'm going to watch that. And suddenly you've been to 4 or 5 games before you've even noticed it, just because it was on TV. Yeah. And I don't buy into this that having it on TV will ruin the experience. You look at football and every game still sells out. Let's be honest, every game still sells out.
NRL still has zero impact on its actual in-person audience.
Well, the first game we're going to talk about is Thursday, and it is Hull KR. They hosted Leeds Rhinos. I think this was a real test for both teams, to be honest.
They're both coming off wins, weren't they?
Both coming off wins, but Leeds, this is the first test against a top side from last year.
Yeah, Hull KR had battered Hull FC, really.
Yeah.
But the Hull FC had a red card and 2 red cards. Was 2 red cards?
In the end, yeah.
In the end, and a yellow or whatever. And Leeds had sort of scraped by Salford.
Yeah.
So it was a good test, this.
I think when you obviously look at the tries, 3 tries for Hull KR in Hiku, Hall and Sue.
So, yeah.
And then 2 for Leeds in Harry Newman and Ash Hanley. But the discipline from Leeds, obviously give 2 penalties away that were kicked by Jez Litton.
Yeah.
Goes to show how important goal kicking is.
Well, yeah, but so Jez Litton was kicking this week. That's interesting. Because last week, Willie Peters said that Batchelor can kick and Hiku can kick and Lewis can kick. We didn't mention Jez Litton.
Yeah. So and he was the one I actually saw on Twitter kicking most when I saw a couple of videos from Hull.
And well, apparently Willie Peters threw the gig into and said, all the best, and then walked off. Yeah, that's the story that I was saying on Sky. They asked Jez, they said, when did you find out you were kicking? And he said, in a week, in one of the sessions in the week. And they said, what did he say to your advice? He went, no, he chucked me to you and went, all the best, and then walked off, and I went practising.
I think that's the easiest way to do it, though. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
For somebody like Jez Litton, yeah.
Just, there you go, start. I'm not bothered how you do. Just go and have a go. Don't overthink it. Same with young lads, just go out there and do your best. Can we really judge either of these 2 teams now?
I think it's hard because obviously Hull KR have been against 12 men again for most of it.
Leeds had a bit of disruption before the game. Lockie Miller. Sorry, yeah. Lockie Miller. Apparently, Rowan Smith said ill on the coach on the way down and didn't really get any better. So they put in young lad. Not doing very good for names for Leeds squad, am I?
Edgel. Name's Edgel.
Yeah. Who looks alright, to be fair. He made one mistake where he dropped an eyeball, but I thought other than that, he did his job alright. But obviously, it disrupts the spine when it was one of your big signings, along with your new
Think
spine,
about
your
last
9,
time.
your 6, your 7.
This fixture last year was Abdul sending them bombs up and Alfred's not getting in the same postcode, and the fullback dropped a couple on that night, and there was a young fullback then who dropped a couple. So it's a tough place to go and be fullback, I think, for KR.
Yeah.
And to say you said you only made one mistake, he dropped one high ball, but apart from that, he was quite solid. I think that's probably a decent outing for him.
Now, I've got to ask this, and this was my concern about Leeds beforehand, and I'm going to mention a player that they let go, Richie Myler. Do you not think Richie Myler would be the perfect player to have in and around this squad? Because he can fill in the house for you if you pick up an injury.
I'm not sure they wanted Richie Myler to leave.
Yeah, I just think...
He's gone to the Championship, hasn't he, man?
York.
Richie Myler, York, yeah.
If this
But to be fair, Ben Reynolds went to the Championship and he's already signed for Hull KR. Is Hull KR?
And named captain.
After one
He was
game.
named captain at Featherstone.
One game at Featherstone, named captain, one game at Featherstone.
He didn't even play.
Which they lost.
He didn't play.
Oh, did he not play?
No.
Then he's
Went to
signed
Featherstone, got announced captain, didn't play, and then signed for KR. It's a really strange one.
That's Ben Reynolds. So you never know, Richie Myler might do the same.
But I just look at Leeds and I go, I'm still concerned about the depth. I don't see, if they pick up a couple of injuries, who's going to come in. Who's going to come in now for Sam Lasoni and James Donaldson, who have both got 3 games and 2-game bans.
Well, Donaldson played prop last week against Salford. I know they had Danny Maguire on the punditry for that game, and he said, I'm a bit concerned about Leeds' pack. He said, I like that. Donaldson's a good player. He went, he's not a prop.
He's not a prop, no.
He's a second row.
Yeah, he went, I'm a bit scared there, and that was again first game of the season, so they're struggling now.
If the Donaldson's out now for 2 games, Lasoni's out for 3 games.
Mikel Gundogan was already in the 17.
Well, I like Goodman.
Yeah, I really like him, but he was outside the 17.
You said he should have got suspended, Lewis, because he made contact with Aaron Newman's head.
Need him on the floor. Celebrating the trap.
Diving all over him.
But for Hull KR, I think it settled a little bit of my nerves about the half-back pairing. They seemed a little step better, and that's going to keep improving.
May put on a nice try for Hiku, didn't they?
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, nice kick.
Nice kick, that.
So
I think Hull KR will be happy because I don't think, obviously, Hull FC was different because they had the send-offs, and obviously Hull FC did nothing really, could have gone much worse from that night on the first game. Willie Peters said their attack wasn't really clicking. I think this game they didn't look at the best, but it's still early days. They're not playing the best, but they still find a way to win games. And if you want to be a top 6, top 4 team, you've got to find ways to win when you're not playing the best.
Yeah, especially at home against somebody who will be looking to be in the top 6 themselves in Leeds. I thought Ash Hanley's try was fantastic.
Brilliant.
I guess 2 weeks in a row we talked about Ash Hanley scored a brilliant try. Just the brains for Croft to see that. Clearly set up because Handley was flying up and whoever he was with. But yeah, to back himself and to score that try 2nd week in a row, really impressive.
Yeah.
Ash Handley this year could turn himself into one of the premier wingers in the comp.
He could certainly be.
Because he's always been kind of pushing that top 5, top 6 envelope, hasn't he? And now I think he could really put himself into the top backs in the competition. I'd like to see that from an England point of view.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, shall we move on?
Yeah.
2 games on Friday. We'll start off with the one down in the capital, London versus the Dragons. Over 5,000 watching this game.
Yeah.
There was less at Salford, and there was only slightly more at the Huddersfield Saints game.
When you take away Saints support, it would have been fewer at Huddersfield as well.
I want to say really, really well done for London getting over 5,000.
Yeah, I don't like having to go to Huddersfield and Salford for crowd numbers, but I'd like to use it to sort of be impressed with London. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in comparison.
I am impressed with London with 0 away support to get 5,000 people down at Plough Lane for the first Friday night game. I just hope they come back again. Wigan next. I hope they come back again after that. They could have. It seems such a shame that this is they're going to be their only year in the league, because obviously they can bring a lot to the table. if they've got 5,000 people at this, and it looked like a pretty decent stadium too. If
Playing
they,
at Wimbledon, haven't
yeah, if they can get 5,000 people there for this game, you know, maybe 6,000, 6,500. If we can take quite a few.
I've heard Saints have already sold, is it nearly 2,000 to go down?
Saints.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were selling tickets for them already.
I'm sure I've read something
Saints
about
played.
that.
No, they just played Saints. It can't be them, can it?
No, sorry, I get confused on fixtures.
It can't,
My
be,
mistake.
it can't be Saints. Anyway,
I've heard someone sold a massive amount.
that's good. That's a good thing. It can only be a good thing. We all seem to want a good London side in the comp, or at least those of us forward thinking, or like to think we're forward thinking about the sport, want a good London side in the comp. This is probably a good step towards it.
But in terms of this fixture, it's a very difficult one to judge from both sides, I think. In terms of Catalans, we can't really comment on them playing London. They did the job, 34 points to 0. 2 tries from Tariq Sims, Julian Busquet, Jaden Nicarima and Theo Fage getting 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, they did this without Mickey Mack, who was banned. Alex DaCosta started in the halves, and obviously Jaden Nicarima was on the bench, who substituted in at 9 and could go into the halves if needed.
Abdul and Fage have been doing nicely though, aren't they, in the halves?
Yeah.
First 2 games.
I think he just off the bench, he gives you some options, and look at them.
I really like Morg. I think it could be a big year for Morg at fullback now with no Tompkins. He's obviously been his understudy. He's learned from him. I think it could be a big year for Morg. He was great against Warrington. Yeah, I think watch out for him this year.
Yeah.
London, disappointed not to get on the score sheet.
There was some disappointing defence, but what can you do when there's no real Super League experience?
Well, Lee Kershaw came in 2 weeks before.
He'd be the most
He is
capped
your most
Super League
capped
player,
player.
must be.
And then,
Alex Walker.
you've got Jacob Jones on loan from Lee.
Adebayi, he played a few games for Cast, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's not much though, you know what I'm saying?
We knew they were going to struggle before
the
season started, didn't we?
They needed a few just old heads who'd been in Super League 10 years, but they'd not got any.
But who's there? Like, you'd think maybe like a Chris Hankinson.
But he probably would have already moved to Salford before that, and people would already have had moves.
Lined up.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with promotion relegation.
We're going over old ground if we talk about that, but yeah, I agree.
So, next one. A game with a little bit of controversy again over a sending off of Brown. It was 16 points to 10, 8-6 at half time.
It was what score was it when he got sent off? 16-10?
16-10, I think it was.
Was
Yeah,
it?
I'll just check on the live events. But can we all agree that one, I'll give credit to the RFL. They've actually gone and changed the rule now that it's only initial contact of head to head that will result in a red card.
I think that's fair. I think if you've got your head in a position...
It was 6-6 when he got sent
Also,
off.
was it 6 apiece? If you've got your head in a position where initial contact with a ball carrier is going to result in a forceful clash of heads, then I think your head's in the wrong place as a defender. But for this one, certainly there was no intent in there at all. There was no recklessness even. They just basically turned heads into each other. If the ball is in the hands of the other person, it's a red card to Curry, and that's the ridiculous thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
It's an
absolutely
accident,
ridiculous,
isn't it? That's the thing. It's an accident. You're playing a contact sport.
But
sometimes people are going to come
there's
together.
there's accidents and there's accidents in there.
Yeah, you can accidentally hit someone high, and but it's still a penalty.
Yeah.
It's an accident. But what I mean by this is you've got to appreciate that sometimes that stuff like this will happen.
caught.
It's a wrestle. You're going to get caught, and there's nothing I was saying. There's nothing,
They weren't even look. They just turned into each other.
I think everyone knew it wasn't.
It wasn't. Shouldn't have been a red card, and maybe even the referee. He had to give it.
Yeah,
he had
I
to
do
give
feel
it.
for him though. He's obviously not.
No one seems to be blaming him, which is good. The player
just followed
himself,
the rules.
the player himself said he was just following the rules. He was just doing his job, and you got to respect that.
This goes to be fair to all the card decisions. The ref's just making the judgment.
The ref,
and
yeah,
giving what they have to by
To-
the rules.
to be
whether you
fair,
agree or disagree.
Richard Silverwood said it was quite interesting reading. Richard Silverwood said he was sort of one of the top refs for quite a while, wasn't he? And when they did the whole clamping down on obstruction, he said they went a bit too far and then overcorrected. as a refereeing group, and then slowly kind of got back to where they should be. And he said sometimes that's what you need. You need a bit of an overcorrection, so everyone thinks,
And then take it back,
and then scale it back to where it actually should be. You can't just say, right, these things are going to be red cards now if these are what you actually want long term, because then people will still be upset about that. Maybe what they're doing is clamping down a bit too much so they can scale it back to a suitable level.
Well, I remember this happened at the start of last season, maybe not with reds, but definitely with yellows, where it seemed, if you remember the start of last season, pretty much every single high tackle was going for
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes all the time. But then as the
Jamming
season...
on the centre. You get 7 minutes.
as the season played out, they stopped, essentially. Or the harshness of they still got yellow cards, but I think like not as frequently and not the severity of them. So I don't know if maybe similar things is just to clamp down, get it in place, and then as the weeks go on, it'll start to kind of...
I think we saw more bans last year for things that didn't result in cards, whereas I think this year we probably won't see that because everything's on the video.
Yeah.
Now, shall we move over to Saturday's warm up?
Yeah, the curtain raiser.
Curtain raiser to the World Cup Challenge. For the Saints fan that wasn't at this game, so we could come and watch Wigan. I don't blame you. I'd want to watch Wigan instead. But 28-0 Saints win at Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Tries for Matt Whitley, Morgan Knowles, John Bennison, Jack Wellesby and Metaltia. Percival kicking 3 and Merkinson kicking 1. This, for me, is I was feeling a little bit more positive about Huddersfield last week.
Well, they played alright last week.
And I don't think Lee were massively great, but they did enough and won the game. And I thought, you know what? Fair play to them. They had to do something to Saints. I'm not saying they had to beat them, but they had to make this close. And
Saints winning is fine. Them winning 28-0
isn't.
At Huddersfield. That's the kick in the teeth. 28, you couldn't even get on the score sheet.
London got on the score sheet last week against Saints.
Yeah. It to me just goes not quite there, not where we thought they were. Maybe Lee didn't play as well.
No, I don't know.
Last week.
It's still around 2.
Yeah.
It's early days, isn't it? But it doesn't
Lee have only played one game as well, don't remember, so we don't really know much about them.
No, I know. Now, obviously, no Jake Connor for Huddersfield. Tuilula here played full back. And other than that, this was pretty similar to the side that played at Lee.
Well, Connor is obviously a big player for them, and he did play well against Lee. So it is a big miss.
But they've replaced him with an international. They've not replaced him with
I know.
some young kid.
Not like when Miller was.
How come he wasn't playing, Connor? Do we know? Was he injured?
I think a bit of an injury.
So who played in the halves for?
Clune and Ollie Russell. Right. So the same halves as last week. Interesting one for me for Saints is obviously Bennison played and Wanga Blake went to centre, who obviously was on the left wing last week. Bennison's come in. What happens if Hurrell's fit enough to play next week? They give Bennison the number 5. That to me says he's your first choice winger, and he was fit last week. Are they going to drop Bennison and move Blake back to the left wing, giving Percival a new partner who isn't consistently the fittest anyway? Feels like there's a lot of moving pieces in that 3-4-5 position, the two centres and the wing position.
I don't think.
Well, you just want a bit of.
I don't think Horrell's in the strongest lineup.
But obviously, Welland said he was last week. He was fit last week, and he played over Bennison.
Yeah.
Now, whether that was because they didn't want Blake at centre yet, because he wasn't ready, match fit.
Is it not a case of him maybe trying some things whilst it's still early doors? He's tried in round 1 set up. He's tried in round. I know obviously Hubble wasn't fit for this, but you know he's had the opportunity to try some different shapes, moving that Wanga Blake. Is it from wing to centre? So he's got a couple of different.
No, I get what you mean.
Say it quietly.
It's
they've
early
played
doors.
London and Huddersfield. You can get away with experimenting a bit.
Yeah,
I don't, but I get that. But I still go. You know what you're getting from Conrad Hurrell. You know what you're getting from Conrad Hurrell if he plays. You've named your squad numbers 1 to 5.
Yeah, but Conrad Hurrell has had 23 for ages.
I know he's had the 23 for ages. But Blake and Percival are better centres.
Yes.
And you're now asking, is John Bennison a better winger
than Conrad Hurrell as a centre?
And Blake as a winger.
And Blake on the wing.
You know what I mean?
I've not seen Blake on the wing enough.
I'm not. He's not played. He's a centre.
I've only seen him in centre.
And I spoke to a thingy who was a Parramatta fan, and he said that Blake's a centre. He's a strike centre and whatever, and he'll give you tries. No, he's not a winger. And I know Benison isn't naturally a winger. What are you going to do when Ritson's available?
Well, to me, Wellens knows his team better than we do. But Conrad Hurrell wouldn't be in my starting lineup for if I was St Helens.
No, and he's a decent backup. But
Oh, he's a very good backup, yeah.
that for me should be all that he is. But Saints again, they look impressive and
Did
they've
what
got
they had
points
to
in
do,
them.
scored some nice tries.
Yeah.
Yeah, did what they had to do.
Should we look at the last Super League game? It was quite fun actually watching this.
This was the
game.
best game. This was what you said before, Lewis. This would not have been on television.
Yeah.
In the past. This Salford against Castleford, this would never have been on television.
No.
And I'm so glad it was, because it means I didn't have to watch that terrible football final.
I don't know. It was all right for me to watch.
It was so boring. Nothing happened. And then till the very end. And by that time, I'd switched over anyway because Salford and Cass had finished. So I got the best of both worlds.
But yeah, you were right, Lewis. This is the benefit of Super League being on, every game being on.
Yeah.
Is that this game wouldn't have been on the... And I know it was on TV. Would they have got that much more support if...
No.
The numbers wouldn't have been 10,000 higher, would they? Let's be honest. So we're getting the games out there and people are watching them, so I'm going to take that as a win. It was a close game, 26 points to 22. Tries...
Sorry, I was going to say, this whole thing about, the games not being televised to protect the live attendances.
No.
I'm sure we are the only country that worries about. Like, I don't know if you've switching gears a lot here. I don't know if you've watched that Welcome to Wrexham documentary, but the two American owners of Wrexham, Ryan Reynolds and
Rob McElhenney.
forgot his name. They couldn't believe it, and they explain this documentary. Go, yeah, just for any American viewers, that this is the thing. In England, you don't watch you're legally not allowed to watch the 3 o'clock games, and it's there to protect. And like other countries and cultures don't do it. It's a very
American supporters can watch it at 3 p.m.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't get why. Like I said, I don't.
I get
Watching it on TV, nothing beats the live. We've been season ticket holders now for a couple of years, but
the only effect it'll have on us, from a Wigan perspective, is perhaps those difficult long away trips on Thursday nights or Saturdays when we're playing cricket, for example, where we can actually watch the away trips, because we do like going to the away games anyway. Especially the ones we can make, we'll go to. Yeah, and the other ones will be on TV. But
I've got to say this: if your whole fundamental setup of your club is that you need so much away support to stay financially stable, you've got issues. You should not be worried about what the away support is. Mm. You should be worried about what your home support is and going off that, and the away fans are a bonus. Because in this league, you've got London. Their fans can't travel up from London every other week. Catalans. 2 teams in Hull that have got to travel 60 miles to get to Yorkshire.
Especially when you say games on Thursday nights.
Yeah. Did we have 2 last year?
We had 2.
We had Hull FC and Hull KR.
Hull FC and Hull KR away on Thursdays, and we hosted Hull FC on a Thursday.
Yeah. You're not going to get away support with that.
No.
I'm not being funny, but the coach left before I'd even finished work, and as teachers, like the odd time you can leave at 3 or 4, like I had no chance, and the coach went past where I work, and I still couldn't make it on time. Like, it's just not possible.
No.
So
there's more Saturday games this year.
Yeah, the Thursday games.
That's interesting.
And the Thursday games work to get more games on Sky. I'm completely fine with that, but you've also got to understand that people can't make that distance to travel.
You can make the Thursday games Wigan and Leigh, Wigan and Salford,
even Huddersfield to an extent.
Yeah.
But I got those Saturday games, because again, if you're getting into like rugby league or something, or you and your mates are talking about, you just get into it. You've got a Saturday game. There was no games. It used to be Thursday night, Friday night, and you were done. Yeah. You might get a Saturday if Catalan were on, and you show Catalan at R5 in France or whatever.
Yeah.
Like now, you can get a lot of lads like, come on, let's go to the pub. There's a game on Saturday. We'll go out. We'll go for a couple of beers. There's a football game on before or after it or whatever, and we'll go off some. You know what I mean? It's just the options there in it for people. The more it's on screen for me, the better.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. And if I had my way, the 3 on Friday would be split up as well.
Yeah.
But as much as possible.
That's just so I could watch them all, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It was quite fun flicking between them that time, but no.
Yeah.
And we've not even talked about Salford.
I know.
How good was Mark Sneed?
It was, yeah, it was brilliant.
He could have played that game in a dinner suit.
I thought he did.
He wouldn't have got it dirty. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
Well, let's go through the tries. Two for Sam Stone.
Yeah.
Nene McDonald. Brilliant piece of work to cut in that ball. And Amir Burra getting another one for Salford.
Yeah, off an offload from Big Brad Singleton.
Yeah. Oh, another try made in Wigan.
Yeah.
Um,
We didn't mention when Sam Powell put Toby King over.
that was different.
That made
was
me
so
sad, didn't it? Made me sad, that.
But the cast tries, Liam Horn, Joe Westerman, Jack Broadbent and Sam Wood. And again, this came down to kicking. Obviously, Danny Richardson went off with a failed HIA. Luke Hurley kicked two goals, but Mark Sneed kicking 5.
I don't think Hooley missed any. I think Sneed just had a few extra shots.
Yeah, and one of Richardson and Hurley. I can't remember who was on the field to kick that. Has obviously missed one attempt.
Oh, did they?
Sneed kicked his 4 and a penalty. So that gives you the 4-point ball game. It won't go down as a high quality fist fight, but these were two very even match sides.
I really liked it. I thought Salford edged.
So enjoyable.
Salford edged ahead with Sneed being masterful. I think Salford deserved to win purely because Mark Sneed deserved to win this game. He was so impressive.
Yeah.
But I think for Castleford, I really liked Sam Wood, and I really liked Liam Horn out to dummy half. I thought, they're obviously missing McShane, who's a leader for them, but I really liked Horn out the back there. I thought he was fantastic. He got him going, got him back in the game, and obviously they didn't get over the line in the end. But this would have been a game that you'd have looked at the highlights, or you'd have looked at your phone and gone, "Oh, Castleford nearly come back." When actually, it was a really entertaining game from start to finish.
Yeah.
Refereed impeccably.
Yeah, I think to be fair, I think that's a good point to make.
Refereed perfectly this game. I think all the fuss over the bad red card on the Friday night had kind of boiled over, and we'd seen a couple of games on Saturday without much referee interference, and I think that's the way we were going.
Yeah.
I think Sunday's reffing was perfect. He had to send Ormond Roy for a yellow, but having seen what we've seen the past few weeks, Ormond Roy probably would have got a red, and then when he come back on, he would have got yellowed straight away again for another high shot. Did he send somebody else off as well? Did he send someone else for holding down? Watkins
right towards the end for holding down, which
Holding
I think was
down.
fair enough. It was a professional
professional
foul.
foul, but it gave Cass a chance, didn't it?
Yeah.
I just think, to be fair, I'm glad you mentioned it because I completely forgot to. That they deserve credit when they ref games really, really
They
well.
never get it. They never get credit when they ref well, but I think they deserve it.
Yeah. Right. That wraps up Super League. Obviously, Lee didn't play because of the rearranged fixtures, so that'll be made up at some point during the season. Probably if both teams don't make it to a Challenge Cup, similar to what Saints and Huddersfield last year that had to do the same thing, didn't they? They had to play their game, so
it
they
was.
arranged the game later on.
Yeah, it was.
So we'll have to find time in the calendar to make that up. But again, an exciting round of rugby league and 6 really good games to watch.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll talk about our quick predictions and review the Wigan preview. I did it again. Preview the Wigan Huddersfield match. Thank you. Right, we're going to start off our predictions. We're going to add a little twist to it this year. We're going to put a poll out on Twitter to see whether for win, which team will win, and we'll be able to see whether you guys can correctly predict between you who wins. And let's
See if you're better than us.
Yeah, see if you're better than us. Probably. First game.
Oh well, we did quite well last year, me and Lewis.
I did poor, but I got desperate and started trying. I started picking random results, just hoping for the best. But Super Brew, top 4. Remind you of that, boys.
We've only got 7 of us.
Right, Saints, Lee, first game on Friday. Lewis, who are you going?
Saints.
Matty?
I went for Lewis first.
Why?
Well, you always used to go for me first, so Lewis could copy. Saints.
I'm going Saints.
Somebody's good coffee.
I copied Saints.
All 3 for Saints.
Yes.
Fair enough.
We're all wrong on that one.
To be fair, could Lee cause an upset? Extra week off?
They certainly could. They did last year, didn't they? About this time last year.
Yeah, that'd be interesting actually. But I'm still confident going Saints. Warrington, Castleford. Lewis?
Warrington.
Yeah, Warrington. This is the
Warrington
This is
again.
the easiest. We might pick all 6 the same here.
Wigan, Huddersfield. And we will talk about that in a little bit more detail after this. But
Okay. Well, we'll chalk us all down
Lewis.
for Wigan then.
I do. Well, I know you've come to me because I do make the odd mistake of backing Huddersfield from time to time, but I'm going to go Wigan for
The
this
man
one.
who always backs
I'm not going to
Huddersfield.
lie. I thought you'd take.
I back
the team.
Huddersfield more than Ian Watson does.
I honestly thought that you were going to take one for the team and back Huddersfield, so you could be wrong again.
No.
We're going to back Wigan,
All 3 for Wigan.
of course.
Yeah.
I don't blame us for that. Then we go over to Headingley on Saturday. Leeds have a big test against Catalan. Oh, Lewis, that's a...
This is the first time you've thought about one.
Yeah,
First time I've thought about one.
Do you know what? I've not been impressed with Leeds enough in either of the performances to think they can beat Catalan, despite being at home. So I'm going to go Catalan.
Matty?
I might go... You guys know how much I rate Catalan, but I might just go Headingley, Leeds. I do think Headingley's a tough place to play.
Do you not think it could turn though?
It could, but
if they end up 10-0 down early on.
it could. But I just think if it doesn't, and if Miller comes back and plays all right, I think.
Missing Sam Lasoni, James McDonald.
Well, yeah,
Big bodies.
some big bodies.
I'm going Catalan.
I wanna
You
pick
win
some-
Leeds,
I'll go for Leeds. Yeah,
Ooh,
I'll go for
that's to be
Leeds.
different.
Someone has to pick a different number. We'll all get 6 or 5 or 4.
Yeah, but these games are pretty.
They have been.
There's
Yeah,
no real.
Leeds Catalan will be an interesting game.
Yeah.
I'm certainly interested for that one.
Right, over to Salford. 5:30 kick-off on Saturday. Salford vs Hull KR. Lewis.
This could be tasty, actually. Ooh.
If Salford come fired up like they have done the last 2 games, they've started them both really well.
They are just lacking that depth, though, aren't they?
Enough
No.
Loomis making his debut.
Sorry, I'm going okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Hull KR as well.
I've got to go KR. I see KR being in the top 4.
I think this one could be good. Like, it leaves us a bit Leeds and Catalan.
Yeah.
I think if Salford do turn up, this could be a good one.
This for me is a game that Hull KR have to win. If they were aiming for top 4,
Yeah.
they have to win it. And I think it's just they've got to go and do the job. And I don't think it'll be massively pretty, but I think they'll go and do a job. Last one, Hull FC versus London Broncos. Could this be a decider for who finishes bottom?
Well, no. But London could win this and still finish bottom.
Yeah.
Probably would. But if London do win this, Tony Smith, surely questions are going to be asked about his position as coach if he loses this one. I think that they are banking on this one. The Hull FC fans and the ownership are banking on this one as an automatic win.
Yeah.
And I
Get
think
the season
for
kick-started.
their case, it needs to be. So
Yeah, so
I'm
do
going
I.
to go for Hull on that basis.
I'm going Hull.
Yeah, straight copy, exactly for the reasons Matty said. It means too much for Hull to lose it, this one.
They have to win.
Yeah, I'm going
They
to
have to
FC.
Right, let's talk about Wigan. We've got Huddersfield. Huddersfield coming off the back of a disappointing loss to Saints.
Not necessarily the loss, as we said before, but the manner
of
of
it.
Yeah.
not scoring a point at home.
And Wigan coming off probably one of the biggest wins that you could experience. This can disrupt your season.
Can.
It can have the same effect that the Challenge Cup has, if not more.
Yeah, just earlier.
We're
Which is better.
going to have to use the squad. I would expect Tom Forber to play in replace of Cruz Lehman. I'm going to expect... obviously, Luke Thompson will come back in. But there's potentially 3 or 4 of our Wigan props missing.
Yeah, I think Cooper would be missing for me.
Ellis,
Maybe Ellis.
and
is
then
not
maybe
covered
Ellis,
from that.
yeah.
I don't know if Byrne failed his HI.
Yeah, I can't imagine Byrne playing, to be honest with you, even if he did pass that HI.
So that's leaving Dupree, Mago, Hill, and Thompson to come back in. I expect a game from Tiaki Chan. And
Yeah, I expect a game for Tiaki Chan.
December. He could-
no,
Is
he's
he-
April time.
Oh,
And
okay.
Semba's actually our longest. Longer than Havard, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I suppose SA is a long time as well. isn't it?
SA's long.
So-
Obviously, Walters is a long time.
Them two were at the game, and Walters was at the game on Saturday, which was good to see. I don't think he was at
yeah.
Cass. But them lot we bumped into at Nando's,
No, it wasn't.
all the injured players, and the young players. He wasn't there, was he? But he was at the game on Saturday, which was good. Signing autographs, stooping down so he could take pictures with people. Yeah.
But this is one of them that I would snatch your hands off right now for the ugliest win.
1-0.
1-0, I would snatch your hands off. Do you potentially think we might rest one of the backs? Maybe give Hampshire a game here? Or an Eckersley or a Douglas?
Maybe. I think the forwards looked absolutely broken at the end of the game. And they always will be, because they get through a different kind of workload to the backs. So you do tend to rest forwards more. But I just think, as a forward pack, looking at the guys celebrating at the end, they looked broken. They looked a broken pack because they'd give it all. Rightly so. But I do think our back seven could play again.
Miski was taped up a bit, I noticed.
Yeah.
One of his knees, I think.
So that was his injury that he suffered in the grand final last year.
His metres were a little bit lower than have been previously.
And he was a rush to get back for week 1. Remember you phoning me saying, like, Jacob Douglas might have to play in the World Club Challenge here. Because he was a rush to get him back for week 1. He was strapped up at Castleford, but he was strapped up more on Saturday.
Yeah.
So potentially Miski could be one that we see have a week off.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised from that.
I would like to see Douglas and Eckersley play more this year.
I certainly think they'll get 10 games.
Each?
Yeah.
I think they should.
8 to 10 games.
I think they should. This could be one of them. Not both of them, but one of them.
Yeah, I think Huddersfield need to have the mentality that they've got to come and know they've got a chance here because of this. They've got to kind of see this as a real big opportunity for them.
They have to start the game.
So they need to do that. Yeah. I think obviously Wigan depends again what squad gets put out with injuries and maybe wanting to rest people. But you know something I will say about Wigan, we thought about this when we won the Challenge Cup after Tottenham, and the week after that I went to Castaway and won.
It started poorly but won.
Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of this hangover and people saying, well, Wigan, they've just won the Challenge Cup, they've only got off the booze on the Wednesday and whatever.
Started slow but won.
But we still got to win.
We started poor that day, but we didn't really have points put on us.
That was 10-0, I think.
Yeah. Huddersfield need to get points, they need to get them early.
I'll tell you what,
we're going to use to backing up.
About Huddersfield, yeah, they had a poor day on Saturday, but if they could take advantage of this,
it could kickstart a season.
They'll have beaten Leigh and Wigan. Their first 3 games, Leigh away, Saints at home, Wigan away. If you come out of that with 4 points,
you'd snatch your hands off at the start of the
exactly.
season.
Now, forget the fact that they caught Leigh a bit cold, maybe. And forget the fact that they didn't score a point against St Helens, and forget the fact that they'll be catching us after our biggest win in a long time, where we've had to back up. That's a great start to the season for them, so they'll be targeting this one.
Take pressure off them.
Yeah,
definitely take pressure off
100%.
them.
So that's what I'd say. Huddersfield need to see it as an opportunity, but Wigan, they have backed up in the past, so I won't write us off.
Be an interesting game.
I won't write us off.
No, I still think we'll go in it as favourites.
Yeah, we'll be favourites.
Yeah, this big game for Luke Thompson.
We'll see what squad we'll put out, but yeah.
Last week, really unfortunate to miss out, but I think this will suit him, coming back in and playing a big game.
Yeah.
Right, that wraps up this episode of the Wigan Way. Thank you for joining, and thank you for listening, guys.
Perfect.
See you later. Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
You'll put you in his trap, 'cause he's